Aluminium is a versatile and widely used metal in various industries. One important property of aluminium is its relatively low melting temperature. The melting point of aluminium is around 660 degrees Celsius or 1220 degrees Fahrenheit. This relatively low melting temperature makes aluminium easy to work with and allows for efficient casting and shaping processes. It is one of the reasons why aluminium is extensively used in applications such as automotive parts, aerospace components, and household items.
Australia is known for its unique and diverse wildlife, including its spider species. While Australia is home to a variety of spiders, it is important to note that only a small percentage of them are considered dangerous or deadly. In fact, out of the approximately 3,000 known spider species in Australia, less than 1% are venomous to humans. Some of the well-known deadly spiders in Australia include the Sydney funnel web spider and the redback spider. However, it is crucial to remember that encounters with these spiders are rare, and the chances of being bitten are very low. With proper awareness and precautions, Australians and visitors can safely coexist with these fascinating creatures.
In Formula One racing, drivers compete in races to earn points towards the championship standings. The number of points a driver receives in a race depends on their finishing position. The current scoring system awards points to the top 10 finishers. The driver who finishes in first place receives the highest number of points, followed by the second place driver, and so on. The exact distribution of points may vary depending on the championship regulations. However, as of the 2023 season, the winner of a Formula One race is awarded 25 points, while the driver finishing in second place receives 18 points. The points decrease incrementally for the subsequent positions, with the 10th place driver receiving 1 point. It is important for drivers to consistently perform well and accumulate points throughout the season to maximize their chances of winning the championship.
Turtles are fascinating creatures that can live for a remarkably long time in the wild. Their lifespan varies depending on the species and environmental factors. While some turtle species have relatively shorter lifespans, others can live for several decades or even more than a century. For example, the Galapagos tortoise is known for its exceptional longevity, with some individuals living for 100 years. Similarly, the Aldabra giant tortoise can also live for extended periods, with recorded lifespans exceeding 150 years. It's important to note
The field of healthcare has seen a significant influx of artificial intelligence, AI, applications in recent years. These AI applications are designed to enhance various aspects of healthcare, including diagnostics, treatment, patient monitoring, and personalized medicine. With advancements in machine learning algorithms and access to vast amounts of medical data, AI has the potential to revolutionize healthcare by providing accurate and efficient solutions. AI algorithms can analyze medical images, such as X-rays, MRIs, and CT scans, with high precision, aiding in the early detection and diagnosis of diseases like cancer. This technology helps healthcare professionals make more informed decisions and improves patient outcomes. Moreover, AI algorithms can process large amounts of medical literature and clinical data to identify patterns and trends that may not be readily apparent to human researchers. This capability enables healthcare providers to stay updated with the latest medical research and treatment guidelines, leading to better decision-making and more effective treatment plans.
According to research, there is a higher likelihood of detecting ADHD in boys during childhood, with a 3 to 4 times greater prevalence compared to girls. This is attributed to boys exhibiting more disruptive behaviors, while girls tend to display subtler symptoms, such as inattentiveness rather than hyperactivity. Although the gender gap in ADHD diagnoses tends to narrow in adulthood, psychologists highlight the persistent existence of bias. To address this issue, the ADHD Foundation emphasizes the importance of raising awareness in healthcare and educational settings about the diverse ways in which the condition can manifest. Delayed diagnosis can have adverse effects on relationships, work management, and mental well-being. In England, NICE guidance has been updated to aid doctors in identifying ADHD in women and girls. Scotland and Wales are actively working on improving neurodevelopmental services. However, presently there are no specific services dedicated to adults with ADHD in Northern Ireland.
The number of Americans who have lost their jobs in the past 10 weeks soared to more than 40 million as the number of unemployment claims continued to rise, with 2.1 million people filing for unemployment last week to around 7.2% of the population. The staggering job losses mark a grim milestone in the economic crisis that has gripped the U.S. since the coronavirus triggered widespread shutdowns and stay-at-home orders in an effort to halt the spread of the deadly pandemic. The latest figures from the Department of Labor show that the rate of new unemployment claims has continued to fall over the last few weeks, down from its peak in early April, when 6.6 million Americans filed for unemployment in a single week.
Chameleons are fascinating creatures known for their unique ability to change color. They belong to the family Chameleonidae and are primarily found in Africa, Madagascar, and parts of Asia. Chameleons have a distinctive physical appearance, with a long, curved tail, independently moving eyes, and specialized feet that help them grip branches and climb trees. These incredible reptiles are known for their color-changing abilities, which are used for a variety of reasons. Chameleons can change color to communicate with other chameleons, regulate their body temperature, and blend in with their surroundings for camouflage. They achieve this remarkable feat through the presence of specialized cells called chromatophores, which contain different pigments and expand or contract to produce different colors.
In a recent study, researchers have discovered an intriguing finding. 6-month-old infants exhibit better proficiency than 9-month-olds when it comes to recognizing specific faces. The study revealed that at the age of 6 months, infants possess an equal level of competence in differentiating between non-human faces as they do in distinguishing between human faces. This unexpected outcome highlights a fascinating aspect of early cognitive development in infants and sheds a light on their perceptual abilities regarding facial recognition.
In a healthy financial relationship, it is important for both partners to have equal say and power regarding the management of money. So sometimes when a couple comes to me with an inequality imbalance, there's a partner that either has, maybe is bringing in the bulk of the income and then thus feels like they should have more say. Or sometimes there's a partner that's just more anxious about money and so really needs money to be a source of control for them and feels like their partner is just, in not agreeing with them and not doing what they say should be done with the money, that this is threatening to them. And they want their partner to kind of come to heel, if you will. So where I would approach that is, all right, well, we need to have both parties present in the decisions about the money. Just because you're more anxious or because you make more of a contribution to the income doesn't mean that you get an outsized say in this. Providing feedback can be challenging and uncomfortable. There's always a concern that the other person's feelings might be hurt, which is a common outcome when giving feedback. However, I want to emphasize that receiving valuable feedback can be seen as an act of kindness, as I've personally experienced it. I had a boss who put a great deal of thought and care into how she communicated with me about my work. Her investment made me feel supported, and I always felt better after our conversations and receiving feedback. Therefore, constructive and actionable feedback is truly a gift. In this episode, we will teach you how to give feedback effectively. Don't worry, we also have another episode coming up on how to receive feedback because we strive for completeness. What can I say? While our focus is primarily on giving feedback in a workplace setting, feel free to apply this wisdom from Masala to all aspects of your life. You won't regret it.
If you own a dog, you might have observed moments where it appears to be smiling. However, it is widely understood that dogs don't actually smile. It's just the way their mouths naturally appear sometimes. That may be true, but according to neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp from Bowling Green State University, some animals do exhibit laughter-like behaviors. Panksepp points out that when chimpanzees engage in play, they emit panting sounds that could be considered a form of laughter. Even rats have a way of laughing by emitting chirping sounds when they play with each other or when humans tickle them. But if animals do indeed laugh, what is the source of their amusement? Scientists have long recognized that, for many animals, life is not solely about hunting, foraging, fighting, and sleeping. Young animals, in particular, engage in a lot of play, which suggests that laughter in animals is connected to a sense of joyful playfulness.
Los Angeles, located in Southern California, is known for its seismic activity due to its proximity to major fault lines. The region has experienced several significant earthquakes throughout history, with varying degrees of impact on the city and its residents. One of the most notable earthquakes in Los Angeles occurred on January 17, 1994. This earthquake, commonly known as the Northridge earthquake, measured 6.7 on the Richter scale. It caused extensive damage to buildings, infrastructure, and roadways, resulting in loss of life and injuries. The Northridge earthquake highlighted the importance of earthquake preparedness and building resilience in a seismically active region like Los Angeles. Since then, the city has implemented stricter building codes and regulations to enhance structural safety and mitigate the potential impact of future earthquakes.
The Tokyo Olympic Games, held in 2021, were highly anticipated worldwide. Originally scheduled for 2020, the Games were postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, making them a unique and historic event. The Tokyo Olympics showcased a wide range of sports, including athletics, swimming, gymnastics, and many others. Athletes from around the globe competed in state-of-the-art venues, such as the Olympic Stadium and the Tokyo Aquatic Center, setting the stage for extraordinary displays of skill and sportsmanship. Several sports were introduced for the first time. These new sports included sport climbing, surfing, and karate. Also, skateboarding was added to the Olympic program in Tokyo and at the 2024 Games in Paris only. These additions aim to bring more diversity and appeal to a broader audience, showcase
France is known for its extensive use of nuclear power in the generation of electricity. It is one of the leading countries in the world in terms of nuclear energy production. Currently, around 70% of France's electricity is generated by nuclear power plants. France's commitment to nuclear energy began in the 1970s as a response to the oil crisis, which highlighted the need for alternative and sustainable energy sources. The country invested heavily in the development of nuclear power and built a significant number of reactors across its territory. One of the advantages of nuclear power is its ability to generate large amounts of electricity with relatively low carbon emissions. Nuclear reactors produce electricity through a process called nuclear fission, which involves splitting atoms of uranium or plutonium. This process does not release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, making nuclear power a cleaner alternative to fossil fuels. China is currently facing a birth rate crisis, characterized by a significant decline in the number of births over the past decade. This decline has been attributed to various factors, including urbanization, changing social norms, and the impact of the country's family planning policies. China's rapid urbanization has led to a shift in lifestyle and priorities for many individuals and couples. The demands of urban living, such as long working hours and high living costs, have contributed to a decrease in the desire and readiness to start a family. Furthermore, changing social norms and attitudes towards marriage and childbearing have also influenced the declining birth rate in China. With increased emphasis on education, career development, and personal aspirations, many individuals are choosing to delay or forego marriage and parenthood. The one-child policy, which was implemented in China from 1979 to 2015, had the most significant influence on the country's birth rate compared to other factors. Despite the policy being relaxed in recent years, permitting couples to have 2 children, its long-lasting effects have resulted in a reduced population of childbearing age and a significant decline in births.
In today's digital age, the internet has become an intimidating and alarming place, primarily due to the prevalence of cyberbullying. It's challenging to peruse a newspaper without coming across stories highlighting this distressing issue. Cyberbullying is an escalating problem that spreads its venomous reach rapidly. Those who engage in cyberbullying are dishonest, taking advantage of the anonymity offered by computers to intimidate, harass, and send hateful messages or threats to their victims. The situation worsens when cyberbullies resort to posting online pictures of those they target, causing significant harm and humiliation. I personally know someone who endured a profoundly distressing period due to the actions of a cyberbully. This individual spread malicious gossip and unfounded lies on the internet, leading to severe damage to my friend's reputation. What makes cyberbullying especially disheartening is how it often begins at a young age. Many schoolchildren who engage in physical bullying during in-person interactions continue their abusive behavior online, leaving their victim feeling unsafe and unprotected in any environment.
China is currently facing a birth rate crisis, characterized by a significant decline in the number of births over the past decade. This decline has been attributed to various factors, including urbanization, changing social norms, and the impact of the country's family planning policies. China's rapid urbanization has led to a shift in lifestyle and priorities for many individuals and couples. The demands of urban living, such as long working hours and high living costs, have contributed to a decrease in the desire and readiness to start a family. Furthermore, changing social norms and attitudes towards marriage and childbearing have also influenced the declining birth rate in China. With increased emphasis on education, career development, and personal aspirations, many individuals are choosing to delay or forego marriage and parenthood. The one-child policy, which was implemented in China 1979 to 2015.
Natural diamonds are made from the element carbon deep within the Earth's crust. Some are created at depths of about 180 kilometers below the Earth's surface, while others are made at depths of 300 to 400 kilometers. The rarest diamonds are pink and others are blue, amber, emerald or violet. Natural diamonds are the world's hardest known substance. It is estimated that the world's known supplies of diamonds will be depleted within 30 to 50 years. About 80% of all mined diamonds are used for industrial applications like drilling, milling, and sawing. The rest are used for jewelry or investing. Less than 2% of the diamonds mined are of such fine quality they can be considered investment quality. Buying a new, pre-owned or used car from a franchise dealer is a good choice for anyone looking for the best deals on certain makes. Only certified dealers can give you the best solution. This is because the manufacturer has approved their dealership and certified the service technicians to maintain their standards. Even if you are purchasing a certified pre-owned vehicle from a franchise dealer, you can rest assured it has gone through a rigorous inspection process according to the manufacturer's standards to make sure the vehicle is in prime working order. They will also help you to evaluate the exact resale value of the car at the time period you wish to sell.
Saturated fats are the unhealthy fats associated with a myriad of health problems. They contain virtually nothing nutritious or good for your body. Their only role is they can be burned as energy. You don't need saturated fats at all, but the typical diet is jam-packed with them. For health reasons, you want to consume as little saturated fats as possible. Saturated fats are generally solid at room temperature and can be found in butter, margarine, dairy, cheese and meats. I am not recommending you to become a vegetarian and eliminate meat from your diet.
It's now possible to get a great job in computers that isn't about science, maths, programming, or accountancy. Increasingly, humanity-based skills are often perceived as more valuable, and computers can get you into a whole new range of professions evolving around games production, multimedia, digital video, or publishing on the internet. Within these and even more traditional professions, such as journalism, film, television, publishing, advertising, design, and music, computers and digital technology have become widespread. In the future, there will probably be very few jobs or professions that won't require some degree of computer literacy.
Profit or net income before taxes are what every business should be striving for, whether it's a small internet-based company or a multi-billion revenue corporation. And while sales are relative to the size of budget, profit is the true measure of success. Even internet IPO success stories like Amazon will be short-lived if profitability is not achieved before investors' patience becomes critical. The stock price can go just so high if there is not the means to pay dividends. Eventually, the treasure chest that is being robbed to pay Peter will become empty. The bottom line must be black more than red for any business to remain solvent.
As competition continues to drive down ticket prices, airlines struggle to trim fat. More fat means more fuel, and airlines are investigating how to lighten their planes in an effort to reduce fuel costs. Two-bag limits and excess baggage fees are the norm for most airlines, while some airlines have taken away free meals and replaced them with overpriced snacks. Furthermore, some airlines say that labor pay cuts are necessary to survive, but the pilots' unions are holding their ground. It's hard to imagine what will happen next, but it's sure to have an impact on travelers' wallets.
One in two Americans will need a lawyer's advice in the next 12 months. Most of these people will try to handle it on their own, because they think they can't afford a lawyer. But, if you needed an operation, would you do it yourself because you couldn't afford a surgeon? Of course not. You're not qualified and you know it. That's why people are so desperate to find affordable health insurance. The law is just as complex as surgery, and just as dangerous. When you go into court, it isn't about right and wrong. It's about winning, and your opponent knows it.
Many people think hypnosis is some other dimension of consciousness. It's actually a very normal, natural awareness that we're moving in and out of all the time. When you're driving down the road on autopilot, and your mind drifts off, and all of a sudden you're aware that you've driven past your turnoff. Or when you're at the movie theater, and get so involved with the action on the screen that you're barely aware of the rest of the people in the audience. These are all examples of the state of mind that we call hypnosis. The main idea behind networking is to gain the respect of other businesses and individuals for the contribution you and your company can make. You rarely gain any alliances from an opt-in list that is made up of different businesses or individuals trying to push their products or services onto each other. It's nothing but a nameless, faceless barrage of ads. And, for all the virtual legwork required in news groups, the very few connections you might make are outweighed by the time you will spend doing it. With the different types of electronic meetings that are available today, they are comparably better than news groups or opt-ins, but still cannot compare to real networking.
The rise of computer use and flat, light touch keyboards that permit high-speed typing have resulted in an epidemic of injuries of the hands, arms, and shoulders. Use of pointing devices like mice and trackballs are as much a cause, if not more so. The thousands of repeated keystrokes and long periods of clutching and dragging with mice slowly accumulates damage to the body. Another name for the condition is cumulative trauma disorder. This can happen even more quickly as a result of typing technique and body positions that place unnecessary stress on the tendons and nerves in the hand, wrist, arms, and even the shoulders and neck. In time I've learned if a camera fits well into my hand it will tend to work well for me. This might sound odd but think about it this way, if you're handling a camera that feels awkward it's going to reflect in your results. I had a Minolta Maxim 7000 for many years. It was a big, clunky unit but it was a good fit for me and it produced great shots. My rule of thumb therefore is, if it's a snug fit and the main controls are convenient for your fingers and it's within your budget, you can be pretty sure it will do the job for you.
Nowadays, cosmetic surgery is at the top of the list of remedies for saggy, wrinkled skin. And it's not just women undergoing these procedures. According to the Association of Plastic Surgeons, in 2017 American men accounted for 1.75 million cosmetic procedures, almost as many as women. The primary procedures for men are nose reshaping, liposuction and hair transplantation, while for women it's breast augmentation, eyelid surgery, and chemical peels. Non-surgical procedures like Botox and laser hair removal are also on the increase. Most cosmetic surgery is not covered by health insurance though unless the procedure is health-related, so if cost is an issue you should investigate the various non-surgical or less invasive treatments available. Bye. If you need to ask for directions, go into a store or ask a family or another woman. When driving, always keep the doors locked to prevent someone trying to get into your car when you stop at traffic lights. For the same reason, don't have the windows more than 1/4 the way down. Also keep the tank half full. You don't want to be in an unfamiliar area without gas.
As a traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, practitioner, I am often asked about the effects of stress on health. According to TCM, stress mainly affects the liver. However, depending on each individual, it may also affect the digestive organs, the bowels, and or the heart. When stress affects digestion, it can cause such problems as poor inventors can obtain one of 3 kinds of patents to protect their new invention. Usually, they will hire a lawyer to aid them in the process of securing their patent. Some attorneys specialize in patent law, meaning they know the various ins and outs of the business. If you're an inventor and you're hiring a lawyer to help you in this process, expect to pay a substantial fee because of the specialty of their service. Not seeking legal advice and assistance in this area is risky business. Finally, be certain there is a market for your invention before you go through the whole process only to find out nobody has any interest in or need for what you've invented. Every living cell, tissue, and organ of the human body contains water. It's second only to oxygen as the thing we need most to survive. We're constantly in need of water, as we lose it with every breath we take and every activity we do. We're especially at risk of dehydration when we exercise or when we're ill. This is when dehydration can take its toll, causing us to feel lethargic and weak. Young children, the elderly, and people with chronic illnesses are most at risk. To prevent dehydration, you should mostly drink water rather than fruit juices, soft drinks, alcohol, tea, and coffee. You should also avoid exercising during the heat of the day, and eat plenty of foods that have a high water content like fruits and vegetables. Ultimately, water should be your main beverage. It's important to understand where antiques originate. Valuable time is wasted by collectors and dealers looking in places where they think there is an abundance of antiques. But many well-meaning dealers and collectors don't seem to have real knowledge of where antiques come from, not originally from auctions, flea markets, or antique shows but in people's homes. This is a basic truth for 99% of all antiques that you will ever see. The good news about antiques is they can be less expensive than reproductions because you're not paying for materials and labor costs at today's prices.
The most important decision when building your own home is the size of your budget. This will determine each step of the building process through to completion and beyond. Remember, of course, to add the cost of your land to the budget of the entire project. There are plenty of reasons why construction costs can increase slightly, so be sure to leave a bit extra in your budget for changes to the plan. The biggest determining factor of your budget is going to be securing financing. Contacting lenders is the next step towards building your home. Make sure to shop around for the best rates and situation that fits your finances best.
Before you get a tattoo, ask the artist to go through the entire procedure with you, including all of the tools to be used in the specific design. Everything should be displayed in full view just for your tattoo. For example, ink bottles that are single-use and disposable. The artist should wear rubber gloves and rub Vaseline on the new tattoo with a disposable applicator and not apply it by his bare hand. Also think about the design carefully. Will you love it in a year, 5 years, 10 years? Don't get a name that you may want to hide in years to come. Children in parents' names are safe.
So this the answer. Hide tattoos of names where others can see them. Find tattooist with at least 5 to 10 years experience. Next.
When you access the internet through the World Wide Web, it is extremely important that you safeguard your personal information. It is estimated there are several thousand people worldwide making very good money exploiting loopholes in security by accessing personal identities, words and bank accounts. There are many more daily who are the victims of these crimes. You have a responsibility as a user of the internet to take certain precautions to protect yourself from online crime. Internet users who access bank accounts, e-currency accounts or any source of personal information online should be aware of the various methods used by criminals to convince you to reveal your confidential information.
So the answer is protection of private information. What should internet users? Protection of private information.
A good school sports program should require a physical and a medical release form signed by a physician. Prior to the checkup, the doctor should be told the child will be participating in sports, so that he can look for and identify pre-existing conditions, such as asthma and other pulmonary disorders, and any heart conditions. The increased ozone and pollution levels that come with summer heat merit close attention too, as they can exacerbate physical conditions that might otherwise be easily managed. Get the green light from a doctor before letting your child commence a sport.
Green tea offers many health benefits for those who drink it regularly. Besides offering antioxidant benefits, green tea is excellent as a weight loss supplement offering weight loss results and safety. Of course, green tea should be used in combination with a healthy diet and exercise program. Dietary intake of green tea has been linked to a reduced risk of heart disease and cancer. Regular consumption of green tea shows no significant side effects. Green tea helps prevent cavities, strengthens teeth, and is thought to kill oral bacteria that is responsible for bad breath. Green tea has been shown to protect the brain from oxidative stress and to increase exercise endurance by improving the metabolism of fat.
Travel insurance policies are typically designed to cover a wide range of travel needs, but when it comes to deductibles and particular health situations, I urge you to carefully read the fine print. Your policy may not cover pre-existing conditions, or the medical coverage may only cover injury or illness, not both. In terms of emergency aid, travel insurance policies are mostly reliable and inexpensive, but they can still have lots of gaps in their coverage. There are policies designed for almost all types of trip, like single trips, hunting trips, backpacking, cruises, house rentals, and many others. Few decisions cause as much worry and angst, apart from a credit card, as to whether or not your teenager needs a phone. The cellular phone companies would certainly advocate for allowing your teenager the use of a cell phone. Teenagers can, of course, use their phone for emergencies such as when they break down on the side of the road or when they unexpectedly need a ride home. Don't forget that nearly half of today's teenagers actually already have a cell phone, so leaving your teenager without one could affect their cool factor with their friends and other teenagers.
From flooding and hurricanes to mudslides and blizzards, we all need to be prepared for disasters. First, you should stay educated. Know what the possibility for disaster in your area is. Some areas have fewer disasters than others. But there are always surprises. In the winter, you may live in an area of the country where you should keep your eye on the weather report for snow conditions. Some people must worry about hurricane or tornado season. Learn the basics of food storage and useful crafts. You will be able to get through a disaster if you know how to make things work. You may need to know how to make things from scratch or may do without electricity. Learn the things that will help you survive. Whether you are learning music from a book, a video, or a real teacher, keep these pointers in mind to get the most out of your studies. Before moving on to the next lesson, make sure you have mastered each new technique or idea, as each lesson builds upon previous ones, and trying to rush through without fully understanding one causes frustration and wasted effort. Practicing every day or night, even for just 15 minutes, is vital too. Budding musicians must also apply what they have learned by playing for others. Nothing cements a music lesson better than a recital because it magnifies what you need to work on.
To motivate your staff to ensure a safer workplace, think about these tips. Firstly, lead by example. Be genuinely enthusiastic about the safety of your people. Without them, there will be no one to manage or lead. Think safe and live safe, and it will become who you are and how you feel to your peers and employees. Secondly, be supportive of your employees. If you demonstrate to them that their safety comes before production and profit, you will see increases in efficiency and profitability across the board. Above all, show them you care about their safety and well-being and you will reap the benefits.
Renting a car can be a fun way to get around on holiday, but bear in mind driving in unfamiliar places can be challenging, even stressful. Before you book your hire car, make sure driving is the right holiday transport for you. If driving is the right choice for you, remember safety first. Always have insurance so you will have financial backup if an accident occurs. And be sure to inspect the rental car for damage before you take it out, so that you will be aware of any pre-existing damage. Also, make sure the gas tank has been filled before you leave the rental depot. Above all else is the safety of you and your passengers, so drive responsibly.
When you look at the rubbish lying beside many roads, a lot of it is plastic drink containers. Over 2.2 billion per year are sold now, up from 130 million in 1989. Something must be done. If we cannot control ourselves and continually feel the need to just dump our trash, well then maybe we ought to make it easier to recycle for those who cannot control themselves. Why not color code roadside rubbish bins so drivers can chuck them into the containers paid for by the churches to raise money for recycling? Or pay the homeless or unemployed to pick up the trash to take to recycling depots? How do builders decide what to charge for a new home? You already know you pay for the timber, the floor coverings, and the fixtures, but how is the final price calculated? It's based on many different things, including the construction of the house, the land and the marketing and admin costs for the builder. The construction constitutes about 50% of the base price of the home, and there are several costs within the construction factors such as the cost of the materials that go into the home, from the timber to the concrete, doors, and windows. And then there are the labor costs associated with work performed by the builder's employees.
A report from Harvard Medical Surveys revealed 4 of 5 patients who file medical malpractice claims aren't injured through negligence. And the vast majority of patients who have suffered negligent injury don't sue. Even though injured patients are 20 times more likely to sue than patients who aren't injured, medical error doesn't drive malpractice claims. Most patients sue because of emotional errors. They feel deserted, or feel their views were devaluated, or they feel their physician failed to understand their perspective. Your goal then, as a medical professional, is to uncover your patient's needs and negotiate solutions that meet their needs as well as the needs of your hospital.
Skimming is the most basic form of reading. The aim of skim reading is not to grasp everything you read, but to quickly familiarize yourself with the text being read. When you skim the index, headings, and subheadings, you ready yourself so that when the time comes you can speed read at paces you are already familiar with the text. Consequently, your overall reading speed will be much improved. Skimming also allows your subconscious the chance to absorb the main ideas of the text, which is cemented by your speed reading of the contents. Together, these two methods allow you greater comprehension of what you are reading.